Hi guys, this is Tony here from Metal Roos. You're about to sit down and enjoy an interview I just did um, over there, and so do like and subscribe so you can get all this straight into your streaming and into your consciousness as soon as it arrives. So enjoy the interview, and I will. Over to you, Tony.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for coming on, man. What a cracking new album you've got coming out.
No, that's all right, man. Thanks for having me. And yeah, this album we're so excited to finally get out there because it's been a labor of love, and as I suppose a local band, there's been a few roadblocks and hurdles to jump over to get to a point where we are now. So it feels really good to after so long.
Hmm.
And for me personally, I've been sitting on some of these songs since 2017 to release it.
Gosh.
So it feels good.
Yeah, and so you should, man. I mean, the local scene is amazing. We
Mm.
are so lucky in Australia, particularly right now. It feels we're in a sort of like golden era of music that we like. There was so many years in the in the zone where we were like not getting anything. Nothing was happening. It felt like it was so stagnant. But now it feels it's like
Mm.
so amazing that bands like you, like and yours is a big band. There's a lot of people in your band. It,
Yeah,
it's a
there's six of us.
yeah, six of you. It's a big sound.
Yes,
It's a complex sound, and
yeah,
unless you knew it was a local band, you wouldn't think it was, Anthony. You just wouldn't. Like you
yeah.
listen
We,
to it,
we,
it doesn't
we
sound that
yeah,
way.
yeah. We do get a lot of the comments of you sound like a Gothenburg band, or you sound like you're from Sweden, you know, and like that's cool and all, and we're not maybe back in the day we were trying to sound like other bands, around the 2017 time, but
Hmm.
nowadays we just try and make it sound like ourselves.
Yeah.
I think Lockie's got a really unique vocal. I think having Sophie playing the tin whistle is a very unique aspect as well. And I've got a particular guitar playing style as well. So we're hoping to just move forward with we just sound like us.
Oh no, and I think you still do. I just think it's like the
Yeah.
production value. That's the
Mm,
thing. Like, you can listen to and you can still consider yourself, even though you've just signed to a big label,
mm,
you can consider yourself a smaller band from Australia at the moment. But the sound
definitely.
is but obviously from the future, stellar, right? But the sound doesn't come across that way. The production is fantastic
Yeah, thank
on
you,
it.
man. I really
Mm.
appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad we took the time to really step up with the new album that's coming out. And I think I've seen that feedback as well from people in regards to the first three singles, Horizon,
Mm.
Wayfinder, and The Storm.
Mm.
And I think that people are excited to finally hear the whole thing in context. So
And it is, listeners, if you who are watching this, are going to listen to the album. There really is an amazing amount of content. Like it's a really deep and rich album, and it's got so much going for it in all sorts of levels. Because I hate to box people into genres. Me, it's not my, we do it
we
because as humans
do it.
we like to put things in places, right?
Yes,
But
yes, absolutely.
your music's more than just folk or a folk metal or it's I
Mm,
know it's almost progressive
mm,
uh,
mm,
in its vision,
mm.
like having a tin whistle for God. I mean, man, fantastic, right? Just fantastic. I love it so much.
Well, a lot of the time with these folk instruments, they can provide a lot of dynamics and depth to the songs. So yes, the tin whistle can just provide such just a unique timbre and a sonic quality that can just evoke so many just emotions. You just listen to any like movie soundtrack or like TV
Mm.
show soundtrack that has it. I think of like Outlander, for example.
Oh yes.
You listen to just that theme from the TV show for a couple of seconds, most people feel quite emotional from that, and it's just
Mm.
just the nature of the instrument. And why not us? Let's use that. Let's weaponize that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And really take advantage of that and explore how far we can push these instruments. Um, well, especially that instrument in particular, and we use that tin whistle, and we use some low whistles as well to really try and get, the range of notes that we can play with as well. And sometimes we'll layer them and have them harmonizing with each other. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool, man.
it is. It is. I mean, I hate to be the person to record that, but in an instrument.
Mm.
But it is
Oh,
yeah, could have
pain
been
in the
a.
bum.
Yeah, I can just I can just imagine. I can just imagine. How difficult it was to get it just right because it's such a nuanced instrument.
Mm, very much so.
Unlike a guitar where most of the notes are the same most of the time.
Mm,
Wind instruments like that are more nuanced, aren't they? So that
mm,
you're not going to get the same time every time.
mm. I mean, yeah, that's exactly right. And Sophie's actually a classically trained clarinetist as well. So
There you go.
fortunately, we were able to also record some clarinet on the album
Yes.
as well. Like, in during Wayfinder, right after the second verse happens, there's that beautiful whistle line that kind of takes us towards the end of the song, and then in support of that, there's these clarinet lines in the background. So just to include all these different features throughout the album was really cool and really fun and really special as well.
Yeah, and I think that certainly comes, as I said before, into when you listen to the album because it's a journey.
Mm, mm,
Like your first album, it is a journey.
mm. Yeah,
It's an album that I think that I urge listeners, I'm sure you to urge your fans to listen to it uninterrupted. Because I think
preferred. Yeah.
you need time to be with it. Like it's okay to have great singles, they're great singles, but in context, it's a much more enriched experience from the beginning to the end. Like I loved to sit. I sat down quietly. I know you probably don't want to hear this, but as an old man, I sat down quietly with a cup of tea and in a
No, I
quietly dark
respect
room.
it, Tony. That's cool, man.
Yeah, in a quiet, darkened room, and I just let the music flow over me.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
then you get all those nuance, all those instruments coming in,
Mm,
the wonderful vocal line, like you mentioned,
mm,
and the great guitar parts. It's just
mm,
really it's a really polished piece of work.
mm.
Uh,
No, thank you very much. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and I'm really proud that it's Australian. I genuinely,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
good to
yeah.
hear.
Us too. We really need to lean into that because it's really special that it is Australian.
I think you should.
Um,
I think you should. Really should.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I was going to say, in regards to just listening to it in one go, we've put, and I'm sure you heard it when you listened to it, but there's a lot of Easter eggs all throughout. You know, some songs hark back to other songs with certain themes and parts, and some songs even hark back to some earlier songs that are not even on this album. And I don't want to spoil too much because
No.
I love the part and I love I love how special that moment is, and people who know will hear it and go, "Oh my gosh, that's that part from that song."
Uh,
So that's a really exciting thing for the prospect of that is really exciting for me for people to experience because yeah, it's just full of Easter eggs and the way the album feels very cyclic. When you get to the last song, it kind of wraps up all the themes that the album dealt with, and then that song ends, and it kind of brings you in a good, I guess, mental space to actually re-listen to the album again from the beginning. It's cyclic in that way.
yeah, exactly. And that's how I do it anyway. As a
Mm,
listener, personally, I can't.
mm,
There's no way I can make any kind of judgment or even any way of understanding it one run through.
mm,
It's virtually impossible unless you're listening to three
yeah,
minute pop songs. It's virtually impossible. So,
yeah.
to sit down, I do a quick run through when I'm doing stuff, all right, around the house or the garden, whatever, quick listen through,
Mm,
and then I go back into my quiet space and my sort of sensory, so I don't overload my senses. Uh,
100%, Tony. I
and you
do that
get there.
too, man.
Yeah,
Like the initial listen,
yeah,
and the initial listen is just I just have it on somewhere
yes,
doing something just
yeah,
to get used to it. I guess, and
yes.
then now that I'm a little used to it, I'll actually give it my full ears.
Yeah. And because people, yeah, well, because people like yourself, I mean, I know that not everyone is as into listening to music as maybe you and I. There are people
mm,
that just listen to music, and that's fine. But
mm,
when someone creates fine art or art of any genre, anything, it's there when they create it in different layers.
mm,
It's not just all out one go, thank you very much. And so
mm,
those layers that need to be, they sort of come out like a fine wine, man.
mm,
They blossom out, and then
mm,
you hear that, like you said, that little Easter egg, and you go, oh yeah, or that little phrase that suddenly you remember, and it puts a smile on your face because you like that phrase before, and it's come
mm,
back in, like you said, right? And
mm,
that's a smart musician that can do that.
mm.
Smart musicians that can do that because they're not just blustering 100 million miles an hour to the end of the album, get it out and finish. You
Yeah,
need,
that's right, man. It's just, making it memorable.
yeah.
I really enjoy music that just, this sounds corny or whatever, but I
Mm.
really like music that makes me feel something,
No, no, it's
like
not corny at all.
I really like music that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
So
yep, yeah,
that's the music I want to make.
yeah,
And
absolutely, man. You want to emote.
it's that simple,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it really does. I mean, I think really so much in the Australian scene, really at the moment, like people just are creating such great art in the
Mm,
music, and
yeah, seems
and
insane
we
at the
are
moment.
just insane at where these
Yeah.
people are coming from. Where are you coming from? Like
Mm,
just appeared. It's wonderful, and they haven't because you worked very hard for a long, long time to get where you are. But
mm.
um, it's just something like people think of Australia as a dry, desolate island in the middle of nowhere. And then bands like yourself make this sort of European-esque. I know that you want to, there's Australian themes in there, but you
It's
make this kind of
there's influences, yeah.
yeah, you make this kind of sort of in European sound. And people,
Mm,
if you would ask me where you were from if I hadn't heard you before, I wouldn't say
mm,
Australia.
mm. I mean,
Uh,
what is the Australian metal sound?
exactly it. What is it, right? I don't know.
What is that?
Exactly. It's beautiful, but
Parkway Drive esque?
oh,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. People just say AC/DC, won't they? And
AC/DC. Yeah, yeah.
don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
I
we
like
said
them,
metal,
but
mate.
yeah, I know. But people would say exactly. Oh, Roy's tattoo. Oh. Yeah, no. Look, I love them. I love them, but yeah, they're not metal. They're just hard rock, as you know, right? But it
Mm,
is still wonderful that you've signed again. So you signed to this new big label. I was
mm.
reading, which is
Yep.
exciting, eh? How exciting is that for you guys?
Yeah, it's great
To
because,
open doors.
we've just been talking about, you know, it's I think about this often, why are so many good bands from Australia, And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said you just work really hard. And bands from Australia have to work hard
They have to
to be
work hard.
to
Yeah.
be recognized internationally. They're
Mm.
on the other side of the world, connected to no other country, and most of their markets are like States or Europe, so the other side of the world. So yeah,
Mm.
they have to work really damn hard and double, triple as hard to get any kind of, notice or recognition to try and get above just the huge pool of bands because there are a lot of bands out
There's a lot of
there
noise. There's a lot of noise.
there's a lot of noise, as you know.
Yeah.
And to rise above that and be, recognized and stand out, it's really hard, man.
It is. And I think
It's
because we're
really hard.
isolated as a nation, very much like I was thinking, like I've got Canadian friends who feel the same way about the Canadian bands, is that
Okay.
you learn because, like you said, you're not attached to a European continent. You haven't got 275 million Americans.
Yeah.
You sort of have the sound is organically us because we make it our own because for a long time we didn't have the bands coming and playing. They don't come
Mm,
every week. You can't go and say I'll go and see Iron Maiden every other weekend, can you? Like it's you sort of listen, you grab to what you can and you really ingest it when
mm,
it's here. And I think that's why the sound in this country is so diverse and so fantastic. And people like yourself, mate, making fantastic music because
mm.
you work hard, mate. You weren't handed it with a silver spoon. I mean, you're only young, but you would have worked really hard from a young age to get where you are.
I mean, I think it's this year or next year. I've been playing guitar for 20 years.
There you go.
I don't even know, man. I think it's next year. Point is, that's still a long time. And
Yeah.
you know, I've been writing music shortly after when I started playing, you know, and I've been in many different other bands, you know. I've toured places like the States and Japan with
Mm.
other bands and stuff back in the day. Been there, done that, and then, you know, I finally settled on folk metal as a genre.
But it's
Funny, but
much it's much loved. Mate,
it
it's
is, man,
much
and
loved.
it goes back to the labels. I just think folk metal just has all these connotations that I don't think really suits us. You know, people go,
Yeah.
oh, folk metal, oh, it's party metal, it's
Yeah.
drunk pirate metal or
Oh,
whatever. And like,
yeah.
it can be,
It
but I
can
don't
be.
think that's us.
Yeah. We're not all Amar and Amarth, are we, right? Like
No,
yeah,
no.
and
Hence the symphonic part of our genre branding.
yeah, and I think that's very apt for you to say that because
Yeah.
that's why I don't like these boxes. I mean, as I said, we
Mm,
talk and we do it
100%.
for humans, but it ruins us as a listener because if
100%, man.
if I'm
100%.
yeah because if I'm an uneducated, I'm just coming into heavy metal music or heavy rock, and
Mm,
I all my friends are listening to this genre, and then I
mm,
go there. What am I missing out on? All these peripherals. What
mm,
wonderful music am I missing out on? You know, like extreme metal and symphonic metal and everything. We've got all this lovely music to listen to, yet we put ourselves in these little sort of lanes,
boxes, man.
boxes,
Tiny
man,
box.
tiny
I, I'd
boxes.
I'd rather just call our band a metal band.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
we're just a
exactly
metal
what I
band.
would say. Yep, because 25,
Just a
30
metal
years
band.
ago, that's what you would have just been. You would
Mm,
just be a heavy metal band. But now, because of the genre trees sprouting
mm,
many limbs,
mm,
and
mm.
marketing likes to put it in things in boxes, it's what you become. You still are folk metal because you have folk in your heart. You love it. That is what you do, right?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, the same emotion is happening as we listen to it. If we see it live, we're still going to bang our heads, aren't we? We're still going to get physically involved in the music,
That's right. There's still
right?
like screen vocals and distorted
Yeah.
guitars and double
Yep.
kicks.
Yep.
Like,
It's all
it's
there.
metal,
It's
you
all
know?
there. It's all there. It's unfortunately, you know, like you said, people think of some of the other bands that dominate the genre,
The genre, yeah.
and then they go, oh well, that's not really for me. I don't want. That's a bit twee. I think I can go over there. And then they put your album on and go, what the fuck? What the
And, you
fuck's
know,
going?
that's what's really spooky, you know, someone that just would, you know, I see it just a lot of people online, you know, wherever you would read this, and, you know, oh, folk metal, I couldn't think of anything cornier. Just how lame is this? And I just think you really don't know the breadth of what you're missing out here. And if that's your attitude to other genres as well, how much music are you missing out on?
Oh look,
That's
absolutely.
genuinely.
Absolutely, and you know, like even the thing about I love really love about folk metal because I like folk music in general anyway, right?
Yep.
Outside
Yeah,
of
yeah,
just
yeah.
metal, right? Is the way that we keep instruments alive. I was talking
Mm,
to I think it's Edard, or I never remember his name, but anyway, they do lots of that like traditional Finnish instruments, you
mm.
know,
It's
for
like Cantalel and
yeah,
things like that. Yeah,
which they
beautiful.
can't even bring on tour because they're so delicate, or they change
Yes.
that
Yeah,
they change
sadly.
sound in different atmospheres. You know,
I love that instrument. Yeah.
yeah, that's the sort of thing that your metal and your music is keeping alive. You
Mm.
know, guitars will be here forever. You and I will be gone, and there'll still be guitars, mate.
Drums
There's
will be here
still,
forever.
yeah,
Singing
drums,
vocals will be here
yeah.
forever.
But these ancient instruments that
Mm.
create such brilliant sound, and they really
Mm.
do.
Mm.
They really, really do.
Mm.
It's something that is wonderful that you're bringing them, you know, as simple as I said, as a tin whistle to more complex folk instruments. You know, they're there, and
It's.
people, yeah.
I'll say this really quickly, Tony. So on the first album, you know, obviously if you listen to it, you can hear
Mm,
a lot of those instruments are, you know, a MIDI instrument, a virtual instrument, and
mm,
shit. And that was just because of the restrictions at the time. However, with this one, we actually put in the effort to hire musicians, and organized that. So we
Wow.
recorded, real violin, real cello, real, I think viola as well,
Oof.
real piano, real French horn, which was, I loved recording the French horn. That was such a awesome experience.
Wow.
Um, and I'm probably forgetting a few others, but what I wanted to really say was that on the first album, we had a MIDI koto,
Mm.
which is an Asian instrument. And then on this album, we Lockie, he's amazing. He managed to source a real koto,
Oh,
and we recorded it for one of the instrumental tracks
yeah.
that's on the.
Wow.
So just to have real koto, that kind of like starts the song and like leads it, plus real piano, plus there's real violin on it. It's just you really can't get more organic than what this is. And I think ultimately that's what we really wanted to do with this album, is to really provide an authentic listening experience. That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think it comes across, Anthony. It really comes across.
Yeah.
When I listen to it, this is what I'm hearing.
Mm.
I pride myself on having a good educated ear, and all these years of doing this, and
Doing this, yeah.
yeah, and I've played bass since I was 14,
Yeah,
and,
right.
and I I love the fact that you can now, you as a human being, you as an Australian citizen, not well, any country in the world, but just you can
Mm.
have now the ability to go and hire that and to use
Mm.
those instruments.
Mm.
The growth from the first album to this, that's a wonderful thing
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
shows us, the fans, the listening people, the newbies to your band, that there is obviously clearer direction, you know,
That's right.
and that's
That's exactly
really
right. Yeah,
delicious. As delicious
yeah,
is the right word. Okay.
yeah. So
And yeah,
in that way, we just sound like us now. We're not
don't
we, we're
you?
not
Yeah.
sounding like we're not sounding like Winter Sun ripoffs.
Oh, look, I like that. Look. Every band who's ever existed has had to sound like someone somewhere.
Absolutely,
Uh, every
exactly.
single one of them,
You're
right?
just figuring it out when you're starting
You're
your band,
just
and
figuring
that's
it out,
that's
mate.
part of the journey, baby.
The amount of tribute cover bands I've been in, like,
Mm. Yeah.
like to think about it, like I get a twitch now when I think about playing police songs. I get right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
like, we've all been there, right?
Yep.
And but it's then growing, like you said. It's then knowing
Mm.
organically your voice and your instruments and your composition is
Mm.
you, is
Mm.
now 100% you.
100% you. That's right. Yeah.
Right? And luckily that you've got to grow up, man.
Mm.
Your children, you've got to grow through the stages, and yeah, really proud of you, man. You guys have,
Thank you, man. I
yeah.
really appreciate that.
And the
Yeah.
product's lovely, mate. The product is
Yeah.
lovely. I mean, I know shouldn't talk about product. Who cares about product? But the product is great.
It is a
Uh,
product.
yeah,
It's
the
okay.
art, I know, but the art,
Uh,
the artwork, it's
mm.
bold and big,
Mm.
and it says what it is on the packet. When
Yeah.
you put the record on, you look at the sleeve, you go, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna get.
Mm.
Right?
And
There's
that's good,
no,
man. I'm really glad that comes across with the artwork, because especially back in the day when I was a little younger, it was just so easy to just judge an album from the
oh,
way the artwork was.
oh, mate, we've
Oh,
all done it.
that artwork kind of sucks. I bet that album sucks. And it's totally not true.
It's so not true. And I'm a lot older, but when I had no money and
Mm.
I'd sort of scrimp and save my pocket money, which I never really got, I'd go to the record shop and I'd have like this pound in my pocket and
Mm.
I'd buy what was the best looking cover. And then you get it home and it was crap.
You get it home and it sucked. Yeah.
And you go,
Hey, man, I think we've all been there.
mate. And
Anyone listening to this
yeah,
has been there.
you end up just putting the cover on the bloody wall. Like I was like, I'm not playing this shit. And just straight
Yeah,
up. I
yeah,
shouldn't say this, but I did that with Appetite for Destruction.
yeah.
I'm not a fan, and I,
But it's on your wall though, so
it's on my wall.
yeah, you're all right.
It didn't go on my deck very often, but it went on my wall.
Very good.
I shouldn't say it too loudly because people get really cranky when I say things like that. But
Mm.
the fans out there,
Oh, look, people can have different opinions, and that's okay.
and that's the beauty of it, is it not? That is the
That's the
wondrous about effect of our genre of heavy metal in general, is it's
mm.
so diverse. I once listened to a band. They sent me an album to listen. Not lying, I won't name them. It was just 40 minutes of rain noises and howling. And
Howling,
howling, wolves howling, and
like
rain
wolves
noises.
howling.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, there wasn't. I couldn't hear an instrument on the bloody thing. And
Yeah.
look, man, good luck to them. This is 20 years ago now. Like, good luck to them. It was what I'm sure they've come a long way. But I put it on and went,
I'd be really interested to know how they perform that song live.
I don't
Like,
think
do they have a pack of wolves that they bring on stage and
they've probably
rain
got
machines
they've probably just
everywhere?
got a keyboard. They just stand there with it, synthesized wolf.
Just a back
Yeah,
synthesized wolves.
it
Yeah.
was very synthesized wolf sounds like a good band.
Cool Atmos music though. You know, like
Look, I
I
mean,
respect good Atmos music.
and I think that's probably what it was. But
Yeah,
I
definitely.
was not expecting it, and so like
It's the not expecting it. Yeah.
I so poo-pooed it. I was like, blah, 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 blah. And I really now wish I'd gone. Let's give that a listen for an hour in the dark, see what happens.
Mm,
And it's sort of there's always that side of you that goes, should have done that, Tone.
mm.
Like I'm sure they're amazing. Should have done it. But as it
So,
was judging a book by its cover. That's exactly what it was.
mm.
Not diving deep enough.
We all do it, man.
We all do it.
We all do it.
We all do it. But thanks for coming on. Thanks for the
Man, thanks for
chat.
having me.
Oh, mate,
This was a pleasure.
it's been great. It's lovely to speak to someone local. I really genuinely mean it. And
Yeah.
I really love the fact that your music is Australian and it's going to
Yeah.
smash the world. Hopefully, big festivals for you coming up. That'd be nice.
Look, we do have some exciting things. I can't really
Brilliant.
say too much.
No, that's fine.
But there
That
are
is all good.
some.
Don't want to jinx it. I think it's great.
No,
I think
no.
go. I think that yeah, but I think that yeah, your kind of music is a live format music. It needs to be heard live.
Mm, mm.
And I think that if you can transcend what I heard on my music player to the live scene, wow,
That's the
fantastic.
goal, man. To
It's fantastic.
replicate it, and if not, make it better,
Yeah.
or make it unique. Things don't have to be perfectly played
No.
live.
Oh no, no. I
They,
don't
they
agree.
just
I
have to be
don't.
authentic.
I'm with you 100%. Like a solo is never the same solo every single time,
Exactly, man. 100%. Yeah,
right?
and
Because
and I don't think it should be.
no.
You know,
And if someone says
change
to
it
you
up.
that wasn't the same, well, buy the CD and piss off home again. Then don't.
Exactly, man. You get it.
I get it, right? I get it. It's one of those annoying things. I had a mate of mine walk out of a Def Leppard gig
Okay.
because they didn't sound the same as the album. I was like, it was 2 tracks
Why would
in.
you walk out though?
It honestly,
Oh,
to this day, it makes my blood boil. He's left his wife
mhm.
there. He walked out and went, "Oh my God,
Yeah, that's
oh
yeah.
dear."
He
Yeah,
sounds like someone who likes his genres. You know what I mean?
he's a box kind of guy.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a box
It's
kind of
just
guy.
it's interesting, isn't it?
Yep,
It's
yep.
really interesting.
Rather not for me. I'd rather burst out of the box and see what's outside the world. Anyway, but yeah,
100%, man. 100%.
I hope you get to Canberra sometime soon. That'd be good.
Well, look, man, we really wanted to play, some other cities in Australia during May. We had talked about Perth, Adelaide, obviously Canberra, because we have done Canberra before a few times.
I think I've seen you here, but I am
Yeah,
very
probably at the best
unaware.
sales.
It wasn't, yeah, but I don't know who you were you supporting?
Um, we played a headline there, and I think we played with Trollfest there.
Yeah,
Man, this is going back a few years though. So
yeah, because I mean, my memory
might
is
have been Trollfest.
yeah, my memory is as bad as it can be sometimes. I'm like, I'm
So,
sure I've seen you live in Canberra, but
yeah,
and forgive me for not remembering. It's not because you are
that's
unmemorable, it's
okay.
because I'm old. Okay,
No harm, no foul.
good, good. But yeah, get here. That'd be brilliant because to hear that new
Yeah.
album would be
Well,
amazing.
my point of that, I know we went on a little tangent,
Mm,
but my point of that is that we've had a lot of people a surprisingly amount asking us in like comments and messages, being like, "Oh, are you guys coming to Adelaide?" And we got a lot of, "Are you guys coming to Perth?" And which was surprising because we have played there once. And then obviously we had a few Canberra comments as well. So we look, at the end of the day, we are really putting a lot of effort into these 4 shows, and we wanted it to just be 4 shows so we could really give these shows the attention that they deserve and really give the album the release that it deserves.
Yeah,
After
absolutely.
after
Focus.
so long
Yeah.
long of waiting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're going a little above and beyond that of, say, a local band with production and a
Mate,
few
well
different
above, well above. Yeah. Oh, you mean your
a
live show?
few
Oh, yes.
yeah, with the live show, yeah,
Yeah.
and a few other different aspects as well. So we're trying to really make these 4 shows as special as possible and as memorable as possible, and for people to really go, "Oh wow, this band knows what they're about." So that's why we're doing, say, just 4 shows instead of like a 20-show regional.
Mm.
But there's nothing stopping us from, you know, maybe at the start of next year organising
Wonderful.
that regional /
Yeah.
extra cities tour, the
Particularly
part 2 Beyond the
Yeah.
Stars tour. There is nothing stopping us from doing
No.
it. So
No.
it is in the back of our minds to
Yeah.
make that happen.
And because you've got, I mean, it's like you said, I think that's a really smart thing for you to do, is to focus on those 4 dates, get the album really smooth running live.
Yeah.
Give it all that you can without thinning it out, and
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then give it to the rest of us. And I think for me, as a fan, I'm happy for that, because that means I'm going to get the best of it.
I mean, people in Canberra can just drive the 3 hours to Sydney.
Which I think I might do. That's very true. They can just drive the 3 hours.
Yeah. Is it 3 hours? I don't know.
3 hours, 3 and a bit is nothing.
3 and a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing, mate. I was up there last weekend before last seeing the Aristocrats, so
Yeah, nice.
It was a great gig. So back and forth. It's always well, I'm always in Sydney sometime or another.
Yeah.
But
we had our drummer Morgan go to the Brisbane show, and he was sending me videos of Guthrie.
It was unbelievable. I was in front of Guthrie, and I was nerding out like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
I don't think
you and the rest of the crowd.
I don't think my jaw came up beyond my chest at any given time.
Yeah.
People shouldn't have that much talent.
That's what you want from that kind of show.
Mate, people shouldn't have that kind of talent. Can you pass it around a bit? What's going on?
It's unfair, man. And they're a 3-piece. Huh?
Yeah, it is. Can you not share it around a bit?
Yeah, honestly. Anyway,
man. Nice chatting. We'll get to
thanks
see
for your
you
time,
soon.
Tony.
Pleasure, man. And I hope the album soars, and I hope the tour is great, and whatever future's coming up, because you deserve it.
Thank you
really
very
proud.
much, man.
Australian metal, that's the key, right?
Yeah, hell
Fantastic.
yeah, absolutely. And look, if you're still listening to this, thank you so much for tuning in. We really hope you like our 3 singles that are currently out at the moment: Horizon, Wayfinder, and The Storm. We are playing in May 4 shows: Sydney, Melbourne, and then Brisbane, and then the Gold Coast. Come check us out. Come check out the new album. Pick up the physical CD. Be awesome to see you. And we really hope you just enjoy the music, because we've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, into this piece of art. And, we've been sitting on it for a few years, and it's going to be really good for you to finally hear it. So very excited.
Wonderful. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice wrap up for you.
Yeah, you wrapped up well. Best wrap up I've had all month.
Perfect, man.
Perfect, mate. Thanks, dude. Thanks for that.
Cheers, man.
And as I said, just keep doing it, because we love it.
Yeah.
And keep safe. Enjoy your travels, and enjoy the fruits of your labour.
For sure, man. And I'll see you in Sydney, hey?
I will be there. Absolutely.
Perfect.
All right. Bye,
Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
See ya.